Good evening. My name is Labrel May with Concordia University of Nebraska, and today my presentation will be on re-engineering the company. Question is, why should we re-engineer the company? Well, there are many reasons why we should re-engineer our company. In my presentation, I will cover the different concepts and specifics on topics such as decision making, alternatives, improving of budgeting, cost allocations, absorption costs, the overhead, and why the concept of re-engineering our company is attractive. The business strategy I am presenting is something that I believe will help manage our company. Currently, our company is thriving in business. Though we are a correctional facility and ran by the local government, we must improve our customer service, budgeting, and morale of the company. We make our money from the inmates that's housed in our correctional facility. Since we are a local government, we are funded by the government as well. Decision making is the first step towards the re engineering process. Finding a solution to our problem is the main focus. Once we can identify the problem, we as a company can develop a plan on improving our business. The decision control is based on reasoning, facts, and figures of our company. In order for decision making to be effective, the ideas must be able to be implemented professionally, individually, and on an organizational level. Currently, we have over 1,500 inmates in the custody of the Escambia County Correctional Facility. Our main our main facility, which includes phase one and phase two of the main jail, holds approximately 900 inmates, which is currently overcrowded. The other 600 inmates are housed in the County Road Prison, work release, and Walton County Correctional Facility. Having the opportunity and the money to remodel, add on, or rebuild for the facility of the Escambia County Corrections are alternatives we have in re-engineering our company. The jailhouse explosion happened in May 2014 of the County Booking Detention Center, which was an emotional and tragic moment for inmates, faculty, staff, and our community. It is going on 3 years since the incident has occurred. We have spent millions of dollars on housing inmates in different facilities and transportation of these inmates. If we took one of the alternative routes, we can reduce our debt and gain profits on housing our own inmates. The millions of dollars that's going towards the County Road Prison, work release, and the Walton County Correctional Facility can and could be used to build, remodel, or add on to our current facility. The alternatives are based on the idea of housing our own inmates and reducing the cost of housing elsewhere and gaining our profits. The concept of re-engineering the company will help enhance the budgeting and accounting efforts of the facility. The Escambia County Correctional Budgeting System is not in favor of the Escambia County Corrections. The money that is spent on costs such as transportation, which includes maintenance of the vehicle and gasoline, are small costs in the average person's eyes. But to a reasonable person, the small amount spent out makes a big difference in budgeting and funds of the company. As stated before, selecting one of the alternatives presented today in this presentation can help us plan a business and effective budget for the company. The common cost of housing our inmates in other institutions is divided amongst three facilities within our organization. We have multiple departments, which includes the Faculty of Administration Department, the Employee Departments, which includes security, booking, and transportation, and Staff Department includes custodial, food service, and maintenance. In reference to the allocation, all costs will be allocated amongst all individuals on payroll for our organization. The costs spent out yearly in housing our inmates could be used amongst our departments. Despite the different purposes of the departments, the extra funding can and will be beneficial. The cost objects will include sharing of mass communication through email and using of the internet and phone services. Secondly, we would have to accumulate the common cost to be assigned to the cost objectives of the internet and the phone users, identified by departments which uses them. Lastly, we will need to choose a method for allocating common costs accumulated in step two to the cost objects defined in the first statement. In providing services to our organization expense, we will and we will continue to accumulate expense. The extra money we can save each year can be used to manage the cover of the cost. In regards of absorption costing, it could be applied in the re-engineering idea that the finished inventory of direct materials used within the company, such as office materials associated with the Escambia County Corrections, which are supplies, direct labor for maintenance and food service staff. What makes this concept of reengineering attractive is the reality of points and facts given. There, there is no way any reasonable individual would not agree with the situations presented today. Investing in our own company will boost the morale in the company as a whole. The, op- the operation costs will be budgeted in a manner that all departments are equally valued, cost and revenue is distributed equally. And the direct costs, or in other words, the overhead costs, will be direct labor of the faculty and staff and employees of our company. The overhead costs of purchasing items for department fees and contractors, such as maintenance and food service departments, are also included under the re-engineering of our company. In this presentation, I presented to you how the concepts affect the decision making and decision control of the firm, which is decision making is the first step towards re-engineering the of the re-engineering process, finding a solution to the process, identifying the problem, and develop a plan to improve the business. The opportunity cost of choosing the next alternative. Opportunity cost in selecting to either rebuild, add on, or remodel the current facility. We spend millions of dollars each year to house our inmates and other institutions, including the Walton County Correctional Facility, Work Police, and County Road Prison, which we can select our alternative of rebuilding, remodeling, or adding on to our current facility. We can make profits by investing in ourselves by selecting an alternative. How the concept will enhance the budgeting or forecasting effort. Debt to profit ratio is not in our favor currently. Invest now and make profits later. Plan out a budget that can be foreseen in the future. The crime rate will arise while the population will, when the population grows. Escambia County population has grown tremendously. This is a tourist site. It is a retiring site, and it's a naval site. So the crime rate, the violations will arise. And with that being said, investing in a new building or adding on will be beneficial for us in the future. And not only that, we can house our own inmates that we currently are housing elsewhere. Any and all cost allocation implications. Common cost is divided amongst three facilities, not including our own. Cost spent yearly can be used in our own company. Cost objects includes internet and phone services. How absorption costing could be applied to the concept. Absorption cost is applied abs- Absorption cost is applied to the re-engineering concept. It is inventory of direct materials and how materials and labor of the absorption cost relates to the concept. We also went over how overhead is treated under the chosen concept, which is direct labor in the faculty and staff and employees, overhead costs of items for the departments. Also, Other attributes of the concept that makes it attractive. The reality of the cost we spend on housing our own inmates elsewhere is costly to our company. Investing in ourselves will boost the work morale in our institution. All departments will be equally valued. So today, presented in my presentation, the reason and the purpose behind re-engineering our company is to invest in ourselves, not only to accumulate money, though though we are funded by the government, we get X amount of dollars for each inmate that's housed in our custody. Though we get paid for the 1,500 inmates, the other 600 inmates that's housed elsewhere, we must come out of our pockets and pay them up front to house, feed, clothe our inmates. On top of additional to that, we must transport. Must maintain maintenance, gasoline of the vehicles, which is costly. A round trip to the county road prison is 45 minutes. Back and forth to Berkeley is top 10 minutes. And to transport inmates from Walton County to Escambia County is a 45-minute way there and a 45-minute way back. Transportation is is one of the big costs that we pay out to transport our inmates. And then the second most biggest thing is paying the institution fees to actual house, clothe, and feed our own inmates. Our population is 1,500. The population of Pensacola will grow and it will continue to grow. So investing now in ourselves will eliminate the traveling back and forth and paying out. Not only that, our we are out of regulations for the Florida Department of Corrections. The only reason why we are getting leeway is because the central booking center had exploded, which would house additional 1,000 inmates. It exploded. So right now we have a little leeway to be overcrowded, to house inmates elsewhere. But soon enough, we will be out of regs because of the fact that it's been 3 years and nothing has not been done. And in 3 years, we have lost money where we could use that money for budgeting, far as bonuses, equipment such as tasers, pay raises, and things for the inmates, far as bunks, mats, bed rolls, sheets, and things like that for our inmates. And this is why we should re-engineer our company.